my beautiful, amazing Virgos. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. My goodness. For today, I'm going to be doing your general love reading, this 5-card pre-laid out spread for you all out in this world. So, and the way I have it all, figured out or designed is the first card is you, the second the other person, the third the relationship, fourth the past, and fifth the future. Then I'm going to draw a Vampire Oracle for you, then a Favole, and one card from the French Tarot deck of Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. But anyway, let's get started with card number 1, which is for you. I mean, I'm kind of getting actually more or less divorce and breakup vibes, will sense is taking place in this reading because you do get the Ten of Swords and then in the future, Nine of Swords. But what I'm mostly actually also getting here is, for the single ones, what I'm kind of wondering is this is what you crave and desire and lust for is companionship. You want to have love. You want to have, somebody who's, a lover, husband, wife, spouse, companion for that matter. And this is kind of what you're hoping to head towards or achieve in other ways. But the problem is, it's like the other person has a Ten of Swords, or this could also be a Ten of Swords of a how would you call, a painful ending in other ways as well. But what I mostly get here is that this is what you pretty much crave and desire and lust for and stuff like that, because in the future you do get the Nine of Swords, and that's kind of about feeling scared, anxious, and just worried about the future, because it's like there is fast movement that was taking place in the Eight of Wands. But I'm wondering if you could have also felt like that you ended up in a real negative relationship as well. Okay, because, the other person, could be or is the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is definitely a painful ending, and what I mostly get here is either this fast movement could have ended up in a painful ending of a real negative experience, maybe a breakup or a divorce already took place sometime in the past, and maybe that's why you're in a worried situation in the future, but in your current position, you're in a Queen of Pentacles, one of your beautiful cards as a Queen of Pentacles, but we'll get to that real soon. But yeah, I'm just kind of sensing that either, something really broke off, in a very painful manner, but that really puts you in a more grounded, confident position in current times. I mean, but the other person could have instigated, or maybe you're the one that could have actually instigated this divorce and breakup as well, because the other person, even though, I mean, look how weird, I mean, how painful this vampire is suffering with all of those knives. Goodness, okay, or swords for that matter. But yeah, I mean, it could have been that you're the one that actually broke up with this person and you really, did a number on this person. But the most important person you should always be thinking about is yourself as the Queen of Pentacles, of thinking, okay, I'm sure there was a very good reason why this fast movement of this divorce had to happen, because it put you in a very confident, very grounded, realistic, serene, and at peace, even though those terms are mostly for the Temperance card. But this is kind of also just talking about, just saying, I'm okay. I actually, survived this real negative experience, and now I'm going to start taking good care of myself. And that's the most important person you should always be thinking about in other ways, is never, feel like that you have to be compromising yourself, but always be putting yourself in the first position in every situation. Because in the past, Eight of Wands, fast movement, and it's pretty much that you pretty much realize, okay, I need to do something, quickly or fast. My goodness, sometimes I just can't talk, and I really think I should probably be feeding real soon, because, it's like with the summertime, it does actually compromise my personal well-being as well, so I should actually also be thinking about myself. But anyways, what I'm actually getting here is that there was definitely some quick, fast movement taking place, and that's what also probably put the Ten of Swords in this situation. But as long as your own personal well-being was never compromised in other ways, that's the most important thing you should always be looking at in other ways. But anyway, in the future, you do get the Nine of Swords, and I do sense a potential predator is on its way. I mean, I hope it's not the Ten of Swords that's going to come back and do anything potentially harmful to you, or inflict any kind of suffering in your future in any way, which hopefully, you'll know more about legal rights or how to mitigate and stuff like that. I mean, hopefully it does not commence in any way, but should there be any kind of signs or symbols, that's why this card did show up, because it is sort of like thinking, okay, you need to also take care of the future, because should this person want to come back and to say, oh no, how dare you even break my heart like that, Virgo, we had so much love, you provided so much love with this Two of Cups, we had an excellent relationship, and then out of nowhere, just this fast movement and stuff like that, and now it's pretty much, but it could also be where you're kind of worried, that you could have been the one who had been broken up or divorced from in the past, where you just think, oh goodness, it's just going to get worse in the future as well. Hopefully that will not resonate, but should it, that would be something that you would have to look into. But it does look like that you're in a grounded, confident position in current times for that matter. So I would really look into that and just say, okay, always take care of yourself. And should you ever yearn or crave or desire any kind of relationship and stuff, I mean, and try to see what other humans are doing for that matter. And maybe, I wouldn't consider those dating apps, because back in my time, those were considered blind dates. And it was usually, that the kids were often compromised. It's like my siblings were compromised to be married off, due to my father's wishes of wanting to share wealth, status, or land for that matter. So it was never because we wanted to find true love for ourselves in other ways. So, it's like, I sort of see, like at current times, some similarities to how I mostly grew up as well, but it's not really quite the same. Because Oracle says rebellion, upstart, tumult, and revolution. Well, the thing is, there could be a tumultuous situation that could have been taking place, or there could be a potential tumultuous situation in the future regarding the Nine of Swords. I do see a revolution and some kind of upstart taking place as well, because it's like this is where the upstart and revolution could already be taking place, where you already feel like you're in a grounded thinking everything is just working out in my favor. I don't have to be thinking about heading out at the moment. Right now I want to will be having my own revolution and enjoy life and do whatever I want and wish and desire in other ways. So, let's see what Favole has. King of Flowers, and technically this is like the King of Cups, because it's like the crosses were actually the pentacles. So this is like the King of Cups is definitely going to be some kind of diplomatic offering. It's not really like the Knight of Cups for that matter, but there's definitely going to be an act of diplomacy. So maybe that's what the revolution is going to be about, or maybe any kind of upstart for that matter as well. But it could also be that you're going to have a sense of clarity and a good understanding. Maybe there could be a potential offering of some kind. Maybe that's what this, could have, come from this Nine of Swords and stuff like that. I mean, in other ways, I would just, we'll be thinking about what you truly want, wish, and desire. And just see, it's like, and of course it is a general reading, so it just does not have to be resonating for all Virgos, or for any Virgos for that matter. You can always check out your other placements, and of course, we're currently in Leo season, so maybe you do have Leo zodiac placements and stuff. But anyway, for the French tarot deck, you get the Seven of Swords. Okay, yeah, there's, an interesting Seven of Swords. It's like you would normally think, okay, with the swords and stuff like that, but there's definitely deception taking place regarding, or any kind of con artistry, but this could also be a logical planning, because I know you guys are highly intelligent individuals. You guys are really good at reading between the lines. You guys are good professors. You guys are good teachers, guidance counselors for that matter. You guys are just really grounded and realistic individuals. And so I just, think that as long as you keep up this excellent plan on wherever in which a direction it's going to be leading you towards, I think everything should just work out in your favor nonetheless. But you might really want to look into any kind of I should probably really be fading soon. Any kind of, diplomatic offering that could be taking place. And really, make sure if there's any kind of divorce or breakup or any kind of like legal matters, I'd really look into that. But I think you guys really have that realistic, grounded idea where everything's just going to work out in your favor nonetheless. But I think, yeah, I just, love that you guys do get a good upstart and revolution. So maybe this is also part of the revolution as well. But should you be dealing with any kind of diplomatic offering that, sort of, seems deceiving or con artistry, I would really look into that as well. But please just use your senses and intuition, and maybe ask advice from other people, friends, family, whoever you trust the most. Well, anyway, I'm going to have to leave it at this, but thank you so much for joining me today, my beloved, beautiful Virgos. In a few days, I'm actually going to go back to my Dracula for a week, so I'm going to be, and also I'm going to be presenting a couple more historical facts and information about more vampire knowledge and stuff, so please feel free to stay tuned for any upcoming videos about that. But thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on where this journey may take you, and take excellent care of yourself.